It's time for NEC On The Run Women's Basketball Edition. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ralph Ventry. I'm back in the NEC Front Row Studios. Thanks a lot for Craig D'Amico for filling in last week. Only 3 weeks of NEC regular season play remain. Let's not waste another second. Let's jump right into where we stand. There were 3 2-0 teams last week. Mount St. Mary's, St. Francis U, and Robert Morris all swept their weekend series. The results have left St. Francis alone in first place. Defending champ Robert Morris is tied with Sacred Heart for second place, 1 game off the Red Flash's pace. Then you see CCSU, which jumped out to a hot start, 8-4 in fourth place, and would host an NEC tournament game if the postseason began today. And then Mount St. Mary's, with its 2-0 week, evens the ledger at 6-6. They're in fifth place and in contention to host a tournament game. We'll talk more about the race that lies ahead later on in the show. Now it's time for She Gets Buckets. In the spotlight this week, Fairleigh Dickinson sophomore Madeline Comley. She's been heating up of late, and it all came to a head Monday night against first place Sacred Heart. The sophomore guard scored a career-high 22 points, none bigger than the final bucket. The game-winning layup with under 2 seconds remaining knocks the Pioneers out of first place, sends FDU into the win column. Comley, her last 5 games, 19 points, 17 points, 19, 13, and then the career-high 22 against SHU. Madeline Comley, she gets buckets. And now we take a Twitter timeout, extending this 30 into a full. This week's tweet comes courtesy of Chuck from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review out in Western Pennsylvania. He's a great follow if you like a bunch of random sports information. And Chuck here is tweeting the obvious. Yes, the NEC race is hot, and it should account for a lot of fun down the stretch. And in Chuck's tweet, he's focusing on the teams at the top. But remember, the one thing that makes the NEC unique is that there are, in essence, 3 races. A race to first place, the race to fourth place. As you may or may not be aware, the top 4 teams in the NEC standings host quarterfinal tournament games. And then, of course, there's that race to 8th place, the final postseason berth. So with exactly 1/3 of the conference schedule remaining, we will see how those races shake out in the next 3 weeks. So what's that? That's amazing. I know we've mentioned the St. Francis U 3-point shooting on this show multiple times in the past, but it keeps getting better, folks. The Red Flash sank 19 3-pointers in Monday's victory over rival St. Francis Brooklyn. It was the first time in the history of Northeast Conference play that a team hit more than 17 triples in a single game. The Red Flash are averaging 11.8 3-pointers per contest. That leads all of NCAA Division I, and quite frankly, stats amazing. And we hit the stretch run, 6 games to go. Each team will play 2 this weekend. Sacred Heart, Robert Morris, and St. Francis U all at the top of the standings, and they will all be home for both games this weekend. You can catch all 10 NEC Women's Hoops contests live at NECFrontRow.com. I'm Ralph Ventry. This has been NEC On The Run. Thanks for watching. We will see you again next week.